registration on the white.
Hello.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You doing better?
Oh, yeah. They put me on the antibiotics that afternoon, and in about 3 days, I was feeling much better, but I just finished my antibiotics today, so they seem to have gotten right on it.
That is good. I am not feeling real good.
What's the matter?
Caught a springtime flu or allergies or something. I don't know. Fall time flu.
Yeah.
It's gotten nighttime starts to get cool. We slept with the window and the back door open, and it got really cold, and I think that was the problem.
You probably need to do one of your COVID tests just for the heck of it. It's really running rampant here in California now.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like, when me and Patty had COVID, this doesn't feel like that. I'm not tired. I'm not I feel like I'm sneezing a lot, and I've got like a really bad runny nose. Like I slept in a cold draft.
Well,
Which pretty much I did.
I was going to say, so let's see. This is our last virtual for another couple of weeks.
Yep.
And you guys will be back in midpoint.
Yep.
It is to be determined when I will be back in Ohio.
Yeah. As far as I know, that's the plan.
How's it going, Jim?
Going good.
Good.
Speaking of such things, let's see if we can get the schedule up here. We're running into some conflicts, not in September, but we got somebody that's scheduling the second Thursdays, so we're working around them. So it looks like we may have to do first and third, and then with some limited time frames.
This is first and third at the library, or first and third virtual?
First and third at the library. Well, we're first and second at the library, but somebody's picking up the second and blocking it out, part of it anyway, and sometimes all of it. So we're dancing around. There's a new schedule.
And it looks like the second meeting is going to be at least a half hour shorter too.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them want to be abbreviated. Yep.
That's kind of interesting.
Yep. They're blocking them out, and they're doing it. I don't know if they're doing it before it's available to the public or not. I am interested in who it is, but yeah,
So I didn't think you usually were able to schedule this far in advance. So that's September, October, November.
into September, yeah, yeah. I've got a request in for November. That's not approved yet, but it's requested.
So the last block there is a request block. It's not a,
It's not solid yet.
okay.
Well, we've always, I am pretty sure, not 100% sure, but pretty sure we could always meet at Ray's place. Now he may want to be there, but I think
Ray's place, people don't want to come to Ray's place.
I know it's in Middletown. Nobody wants to go to Middletown.
Yeah, been there, done that.
I live a city over and I don't even want to go to Middletown.
You can't get there from here. But yeah, that's yeah, just Middletown is, it doesn't draw a crowd, and a lot of our audience is way down south, y'all.
Yeah, I know Middletown's not the best, but
Well, it's okay. It's just, they don't, it's not centrally located to the audience.
yep.
How about any of the other libraries that you explored, Jim?
Me, I haven't been exploring the libraries, the one up here, but the problem with the one up here is it's by the same guidelines as the one down there. Yeah, we could meet up here, but the one of the libraries, the one in Monroe, has the same problem as Middletown. It's not centrally located.
Yeah. The one in Monroe is a lot smaller too. A lot smaller.
Yeah.
Which isn't a big deal for our group, but it's something.
How about other rooms at Midpoint?
Yeah.
Is that big room, the boardroom, so to speak, the only one that they schedule out?
They schedule others out, but they're not set up for video.
Oh, okay.
And some of them you have to set up the chairs and things like that.
No, that's a pain.
We could bring our own video for that matter.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, I mean, that's one extra thing to carry. And
Yep.
Now, Steve always has his down in libraries down further south in actually, for the most part, in Cincinnati proper. But he only does one session a month, so it's a different situation.
Madeira.
Have some Madeira, yes.
Well, doesn't Steve live closer to that area?
Well, Steve lives, let's see.
Eastgate.
Eastgate, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit north of Eastgate, north of 32.
So,
That's right on 32.
Mm,
but
so Barry, why are you incognito today?
Barry's always incognito.
except when he's on site.
That's true. Yeah, we've actually had this conversation before about alternate meeting spots, and we really haven't come up with anywhere great. we're either Westchester seems to be a good location. I mean, it's pretty centrally located to everybody that really goes to the meeting.
Well, we can dance around and see what days. So you're still blocking out Wednesday, huh?
Well, Thursday is, I really don't want to change the day if we can avoid it, because we're back in school again, and everybody pretty much has worked around my Thursday thing. So if we can avoid switching days, that would
Okay.
be ideal.
Let's just continue dancing around down there
Yeah,
and shifting around and see what we come up with.
they're really,
Yeah. An official 1 hour meeting doesn't sound too bad, but
yeah.
yeah, occasionally.
Could
So school is fully in session now?
and I'm picking up the grandbaby again. And so I will have her, and pretty much everybody is, Patty's off work on Thursdays because of the meeting. So if for some reason we would have to have the grandbaby, she could have her. But the kid has scheduled his work so that he gets his kid from school on Thursday. So Thursday is pretty much, the day.
It's preferred. Yeah, it's preferred. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we tried Wednesday for a little while and that worked, but everybody else had to change, and then we changed again or whatever. But I think that was all during that COVID. Everything was COVID. So
Everything's coming up COVID.
yeah. But,
Well,
I'm I don't know. We could meet at a restaurant or something. I know that's happened before.
Yeah, restaurants are, they really want you to buy something.
Yeah, and they're noisy,
Yeah.
and they're not great for wanting you to, or letting you hook stuff up to their TV sets. So the library is probably the best situation. We just got to work within the bounds of what the library says.
It's free and worth every penny. Actually, it's premium.
Yep.
so with all the building that's going down there around the library, is there any addition going to be put on the library or not?
Not that I'm aware of.
So that's all external condos and apartments and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a business across the street. So yeah.
Well, okay.
I haven't heard of any library expansion or anything.
Anybody want to see a robot playing
Yeah.
ping pong?
Let's go, Bill. Let's
Oh,
go.
yeah. Sure, why not?
Okay, let me get that warmed up. Let's see. How good do you think it would be?
It's 100%,
100%.
and
Good.
it's and it's probably really fast.
Right now, if I can just figure out how to do it. Oh, okay.
Is this one of the is this one of the training robots, or is this something else?
Zoom in. Okay. I got to figure out how to get it up there, so to speak.
Oh, Steve's here.
Steve's here.
Well, there it is. That one and that one.
Oh, geez. This is something new. Okay.
Oh, this is a robot against a human.
Cool.
That looks pretty scary, huh?
That looks
That's scary.
Yeah, that is definitely pretty quick.
Cool. Yeah. Let's go, Bill. Let's go up. Cool.
I don't know, and it's walking away with attitude. Are you sure that's a real robot?
That's scary, gentlemen. If that's real and it's controlling it, I doubt he's controlling it. What do you think?
No, that's got to be autonomous.
You think it's autonomous? I'd say it'd be amazing for that to be autonomous. That would be scary.
You're
say,
saying you think there's an operator someplace?
yeah.
I think they're feeding it to him.
I
But it'd be hard to do. I mean, I realize either one's hard to do. Amazing.
I think that's a guy in a net suit or camera capture.
Yeah, green screen. Yeah, maybe so.
Capture suit. And that's not a robot.
Yeah, that's too good to be true. That's too good to be true. You're right.
Because that robot was moving too smooth. I don't know of any humanoid robot yet that can move that smooth. I'm sure we will get there, but that was
This new tank round is cool. Yeah. This new tank. Cool.
Oh, stop it.
So you don't think it's autonomous? That's interesting.
Oh no.
I
I'm with Leroy. I think it's fake.
yeah.
He's got a couple of discs toward his head, which makes sense. He's got disc on each shoulder. He's got a disc sticking up. Did you guys notice that? Let's see.
Well, there it is. It's in capture.
All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, they dubbed it. Okay.
That's just a filter or something, some skin.
I feel better. If they were that
safer.
Yeah. They replace us in a heartbeat, wouldn't they, Art?
Yeah.
We'd be gone.
It was moving too smooth. That's just.
And to capture the spin on the ball. Somebody puts forward spin on the ball, and to calculate the reverse spin and to go under the table and put enough reverse spin to get it over the table. I've done that, but it's hard.
Well, whether it's an autonomous robot or not, it's an impressive player.
That is true. This is what I actually thought you were going to show us. The robot practice practice how to play ping pong.
So that's like a batting machine.
Yeah.
Where you
It actually has like a little servo in it or something, so
yeah.
it'll keep you on your toes, and it's supposed to be a training thing. So the better you get, the better you get, the better you can make it. But it doesn't actually play. It just shoots balls at you.
Need to get one of those for my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here. See, right now it's shooting them all at the same spot, but I bet later on down here in the video he'll have it moving around. See, now it's shooting left, right, or something like that.
But what you can't see is how much spin he's putting on the ball, how he's hitting the ball. That's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
If he's cutting it over the top, you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the spin on the ball would be hard to detect with a white ball. You'd have to track the paddle, I would think, to get that.
Exactly how the ball is hit by the paddle. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Up. Somebody's really wanted.
Oh, the camera that's in the woods is going nuts. I guess the sun's hitting it. Well, I bet my camera that's in the woods, the wire-free one, I've noticed that the charge lights work all the time. So that it's sitting out there in the middle of the night with the fully charged light on, or the red or the green light, and it's on all the time. That's kind of ridiculous.
Hmm.
Well, some state of charge is happening. It's charging, it's discharging.
Yeah, but if there's no sunlight, it probably shouldn't be charging.
Well, it's charging with infrared.
Supercharging.
Okay.
Well, I'll wait a few more minutes because last time I showed off my TV project, then Vicente showed up. So I'll wait a few more minutes before I before I show this thing off again. I made some progress, and
Oh, good.
well, and then today I realized why something wasn't working, or something, and then I went, oh, so all the progress I made may have been for nothing. But we'll wait and see if Vicente shows up. And I got that working.
Cool.
Everything works pretty much out of the box, except for this keypad.
Hmm.
The Windows key works and the volume keys work, but the 2A buttons and the rotate button doesn't work.
You get nothing at all?
I get nothing. The A2 button is supposed to be mapped according to BIOS, is supposed to be mapped to the F2 key, and it's the only way you can get into BIOS is hitting the A2 button on boot. So I'm not sure I want to change that, because you never know, you might need to get into BIOS for some reason.
Well, I'm sure you could hook an external keyboard up to it.
Yeah, but that's a pain. The only other thing that it does, well, okay, with Windows, it had it's like a rotation sensor, an
Mhm.
actual sensor, so that it will rotate on its own.
Mhm.
Linux doesn't seem to support that rotation sensor. I haven't figured out how to turn that on.
It's disabled by default in Mint.
Okay. Do you know how to turn it on? Because I haven't been able to find it.
It was kind of hidden. Hold on.
Maybe that would enable the rotation button, if that's where. But the other weird thing is when I rotate the screen, the resolution goes wacky. Even when I rotate the screen manually, it goes wacky. And then of course it is the calibration's off a bit, but not bad. It's not horrible. It's just off a bit. I think I can fix the calibration problem.
Have you actually opened it up and gotten inside it?
No, not beyond. I've taken all the covers off. Just to see what options were installed on it from the factory. And like I said, everything seems like it's working. Well, almost everything seems like it's working. The only other thing that and I don't know if I'm worried about it or not. The back camera has a built-in light that you can turn on and off, but I haven't figured out how to turn that on or off either. And I don't know if I really care, because
So the default is on or the default is off?
off. It's like a flashlight, like like a cell phone. I'm not real sure I understand why it has a back camera in the first place. But Steve's tablet has a back camera too, so
Mhm.
and it's a what was it, 2400 or something? It was a really high resolution camera. 3264 by 2448. That's the back camera. The back camera is like a really high resolution camera. And it just works. Everything just works for the most part. The front camera is also a high resolution camera, but not that high. What was it? It was 1280 by 720. So it's a 720p camera for the front. But the back camera, I don't know if that's not quite 4K, but I guess it's close.
Who'd you Ranchambeau to grab that?
Do what?
I said, who did you Ranchambeau to grab that?
I found this on eBay listed as bad, as the speaker not working for $55. And they're right, the speaker doesn't work and I don't care.
Was it unplug and put another one on?
Actually, if you plug headphones into the jack, it works just fine. I don't really know. I thought maybe the jack was bad and shorting causing the speaker not to work, but that's not the case.
So the audio chip and everything works.
Yep.
It's just not the speaker. And I would open it and see if it's just disconnected.
A blown speaker or something, yeah.
Or dirt in it?
Yeah. I'm not all that worried about it. I didn't buy it. I bought it as an actual writing tablet to write on. And for what it's for that purpose, it's going to work great. It's got like, oh God, it's got an insane, if I believe what this thing is telling me, the battery will last like 8 hours.
So when are you going to
Yeah.
drop a Star Trek GUI on it?
I've got the Orville on it.
Okay, I found the disable automatic screen rotation.
Okay.
Go into settings, display, and you default to the layout tab. Go to settings.
I don't have that.
This is in, so layout is the, let me see what's on your screen. Okay, yeah, that's the right thing. You don't have a settings tab. Which mint are you running? Mate?
Yeah, 2022 20 2020, whatever the latest is. I just downloaded it.
22.3 is latest, I think.
Hi, there is a Vicente.
Salute. So latest, I think, is 21.2 Victoria.
Victoria, that's what I'm running.
Are you running Cinnamon
No.
Mate or
Mate. Mate.
okay. Huh. Okay, I'm running cinnamon.
That's
Uh,
probably why
yeah.
they made it just enough different to be different. I find tutorials all the time for cinnamon and I go, I ain't got that. I probably need to start running cinnamon instead
I
of
say, shouldn't that
Mate.
teach you something?
what? Teach me what?
Everybody runs cinnamon.
And everybody runs cinnamon. Yeah, I'm a throwback.
Well, I can't wait till they pull something like Microsoft and just, deprecate and port everything to Azure, and like all the documentation doesn't tell you how to do squat. All the new documentation has these short links, and all the short links do is dump you out at bing.com.
Yep, well, that's Microsoft for you. The see, I made little icons, which are basically shell scripts, and when I click them, it'll rotate the screen. But see, half of my screen's missing. It's actually there, but the driver or something does something funky. So I've got these little scripts here.
That's neat.
And now it's inverted.
Oh,
And now it's right.
Hmm.
So I mean, I worked around the fact that it doesn't auto rotate, but it would be nice if it auto rotated. But you got to rotate the digitizer too. The digitizer has the Wacom. It's a Wacom digitizer. But yeah, if it would auto rotate, then that would be the scripts that I wrote would be useless. GPS just worked. It's on TTYS 3. Just worked right out of the box. Didn't have to do anything special to it. Everything just worked. It's an amazing little laptop that has a couple of quirks like everything else. An amazing battery life. If I believe what it's telling me, I've got almost 6 hours of battery left. And it's I've only had it on for a couple hours. It started off at 8 hours. So if I believe what it's telling me, it's got an amazing battery.
When you opened up the case, could you see the battery?
Yeah, the battery is actually this big square right here. This is all battery. 256 gig SSD. So it's fast, 8 gigs of RAM. Say it's a dual core. Why can't I get the battery out now? It's a dual core i5 with hyper-threading. So it acts like a 4-core. It's using almost no swap space. battery just pops right out. Usually. Oh, it would help if I was pushing the button the right direction. 9,300 milliamp hour output. LiPo. That is the battery. It is takes 16 volts to charge it, but it's only a 10 volt, 10.8 volt out. 94 watt hours. And
Okay,
it's-
that's impressive. Mine, if I remember right, is 34. But I have two of them, so
Yeah,
68.
I've only got the one. According to this, the minimum that it should get is 8,700 milliamp hour. But 9,300 milliamp hour is the typical. This, I mean, it's an impressive machine for considering what it is and its age.
So what's the model number on that?
FZ1. FZG1. And I think it's the first model of the FZG1. But I can't verify that in any significant way.
It's interesting that it's a LiPo.
Why?
Well, they're more expensive per.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this thing was
Designed for
6,000.
cop use.
Yeah, I
It
was gonna say,
it was a $6,000 laptop back when it was new. I mean, it's designed to be modular. This, you take, there's 4 screws holding this smart card on, but you could pull the smart card off and pop a different module in the same spot. The GPS is up here, same deal. There's 2 screws holding it in place, but it's designed to be modular. You just unscrew the screws, pop the GPS out, pop a different device in, and you have a different device. The newer model has 1 extra port on it. That's why I think this is probably the original, the Model 1, because there's only 3 ports on it. But these 3 ports are not modular. They can't be changed. And that's really the only thing that's not modular about it. Everything else, if you wanted a bigger battery, they actually sell a battery that's bigger, that sticks out about twice as far. Battery's already insane. I don't know why you'd want a bigger one, but they sell you a bigger one. They don't care. Almost everything on this thing can be changed, replaced. Antenna connectors right here. Those are one's GPS antenna and one's Wi-Fi antenna. So when you slide it into the dock, you could actually get better antennas. You got the keyboard dock and the dock. It's all one thing. It just slides into the dock.
So this was typically a dock that was installed in a cop car?
Yep. And then you're off the dock, because you've got the antenna connectors. The antennas would probably be on the outside of the car. So there's wires ran out there. but you would have probably some sort of Wi-Fi coming in. There's a underneath the battery. When I had it off, I probably could have showed you, but under the battery, there's a cell phone connector, SIM card, dealy bob. Like I said, it's an impressive laptop. A lot of stuff, you know, a little bit ahead of its time for its age. Of course, was originally designed for Windows 8.
Not 8.1.
It says Pro Windows 8.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. It took me, actually it installed everything. This thing's zippy for what it is, for the fact that it's only a dual core and 2 gigahertz machine. This thing, it's impressively fast.
From what I'm
There's-
seeing online, it looks like you might have the extended battery because there's one that's flush with the back of the unit.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's at least 2 different battery packs for this thing.
hmm
But I didn't realize that this was the bigger one. I thought the bigger one was bigger. I thought there was one more that was bigger. But that's fine. I will take the bigger battery pack. The one thing that I didn't get with this, they make like a strap that fits over your hand.
Yeah.
And or a strap that you can strap it and wear it around your neck. So you'll see like at Kroger or Walmart or somewhere, you know, the people who are carrying around these tablets, they've got a strap across their neck and they're carrying a tablet around and they're doing inventory or whatever. They're probably using something like this or one like what Steve's got, because they didn't just sell them to the cops. They sold them to businesses, and this camera could be replaced with a barcode reader, which I still think Steve has a barcode reader in his.
I don't, because it's got a light as well.
Yeah. But the camera, the back camera could be replaced with a barcode reader, so you could just go up and do your inventory. So they marketed these things to businesses, and you'll see people out in the warehouse or whatever with one on their hand, and they're doing stuff. The one thing that kind of surprised me was the stylus. It doesn't act like any of the active styluses I've ever seen, but it also seems like it's an active stylus. It's a very weird stylus. If I come close to the screen, the mouse shows, or the cursor shows up, but if I move away, it doesn't, that's how the active styluses work. But this doesn't feel like an active stylus. It feels like a cheap plastic.
This is the Wacom technology.
Yeah.
They radiate energy to a coil inside the pen. Use energy from the.
Okay. See,
It's
my
like
other
It's like
my other laptop that used a active stylus has a battery in it, and the stylus is bigger.
yeah.
But you're talking like okay, that makes sense. I'm happy about that. I can live with that.
The same technology than the Samsung Note, I think.
Yeah. When you bring it, yeah.
You don't use battery, just induction.
Okay.
Interesting.
How heavy is your laptop, your tablet?
If it's 3 pounds, I'd be surprised.
Oh,
It is. It's not very heavy at all. So.
well, depend on the amount of hours you are carrying around.
I was gonna say 3 pounds.
Yeah.
3 pounds.
Arms.
3 pounds
Yeah.
sitting like that on your wrist for
in your hand for
I think the box that I think the postage box said 5 pounds, and it had a bunch of packing material around it, so I don't know. Need to get a stamp. Need to weigh that. I know when I go to Kroger tomorrow and take Patty to work, I'll go in there and put this on a fruit scale and see what it says.
Find out that it weighs 6 bananas and an apple.
Yeah. I'm very impressed with that laptop. I'm more impressed with the fact that I didn't have to screw around to get stuff to work. Everything just, I mean, there's quirks, there's weird little funky things, but everything just worked. It just worked.
So you got this on eBay?
Yep.
I blame Mint for that.
Do what, Barry? What?
I said I blame Mint for it working so nicely.
Oh yeah, yeah. So do I, because when I bought it, it had Windows installed, and Windows, it was dog slow, and the digitizer didn't seem like it worked right, and I was about ready to return it because I was like, oh, there's something else wrong with this thing, and
Nope, just Windows.
it was just Windows. I got to boot up Mint, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, that makes this decision a whole lot easier. No more Windows. Go away, Windows. So a lot of times, especially since it had a licensed copy of Windows on it, I would have dual booted, had a dual boot system. But since Windows didn't want to play nice with it, I just said the heck with that.
So you just scrubbed the Windows partition?
And the recovery partition and everything. I just told it to get rid of all of it. So I didn't need it. And the only partition I kept, there's a diagnostic partition, and there's some sort of weird backup BIOS partition that I had never actually heard of before, but the BIOS backs itself up during boot, apparently. I guess if the BIOS thinks it's got a virus or something, it will load the backup copy in.
It's probably I'd say it's probably a redundancy core and for reloading.
Yeah. So I left that because I figured that was important. And I left the diagnostic partition because I figured, well, that probably would help eventually, maybe, if there's something actually wrong with it.
Those are probably pretty small partitions, aren't they?
Tiny, yeah. I mean, the whole thing probably, I don't know, 100K maybe. The diagnostic is, I booted the diagnostic up just to see what it was. It's not overly comprehensive. It memory test, scanning the hard drive and displaying colors on the screen. At which point you're supposed to say, yes, I can see color. Otherwise, it doesn't know that it passed the test.
Unless
And-
you set it in front of a mirror and have the camera on.
Yeah. It actually told me, let's see, it's got a sound test, and it actually told me that the sound system passed, and I'm like, no, it didn't. I didn't hear anything, but whatever. You could tell me it passed, but it didn't pass. But yeah. I really I'm digging it. It's a nice system. I actually was looking for one like what Steve's got, but when I saw this one for $55, I just couldn't really say no.
Yeah, I just looked on eBay. There's a bunch of them in the $170 range or so.
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote all that with on there. So it all works. I have no way to test a smart card. So I don't really know if that works, but I'm not real sure that I actually care if the smart card works. I'm assuming that it works because it shows up in LSUSB as being a smart card reader.
Hmm.
So I would
Probably
assume
does.
so I would assume that it's going to do something, but I don't have software for it. I don't know what it would do. I'm assuming the Sierra Wireless that it shows up. I'm assuming that is the cell modem.
Yep.
And there's a sensor package built into it.
Hmm.
And there's a smart card reader.
Twin.
So I would assume that the cell modem would still work if I had a card for it. Have to set that up, but I'm assuming that Linux knows how to make that work.
Yeah, it's just a modem.
But did you notice that the cameras identified themselves as Acer cameras?
No,
This is a Panasonic laptop.
nice.
And the front camera, which is the 720p camera, is identified as an HD camera, and the rear camera is just identified as a USB 2.0 camera, which is the high definition camera. So Go figure that one out. Don't care, it works. Call it whatever you want. It works.
Oh, there's Ray.
I was waiting for Vicente, and Vicente is here. Uh-oh. What's up, Ray?
I am sitting in a urgent care medical facility waiting for my COVID test.
Woohoo.
I had to get a COVID test so I can do some traveling.
Are you at your own facility?
No, I'm in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
Close enough.
Close enough. Well, it's a lot closer than I will be Saturday. On Saturday, I would leave for China.
Oh,
Woohoo.
So,
So was that the reason for the COVID test?
For traveling.
yes. Yeah, some countries require a COVID test, some don't. And China particularly requires a special kind of COVID test. So, and it has to be within 48 hours of the flight. So
There's
you can't just
xenophobic. Yeah.
so they don't want you to bring it back to them. Is that what they're saying?
Very good.
Please don't bring it back to us. Keep
No,
it. We don't want it.
No returns.
No
No returns.
Ray, is this just a nose swab kind of thing, or?
Well, it's gotten better, but it is technically a PCR test. So it tests for stuff. But yeah, they've gotten better. Instead of like shoving all the way down your sinus cavity, they're up towards the front of the sinus cavity. So, but they used to go like darn near back to your throat, and it was just it's really, really irritating, that one. But now, it's closer up front.
Touch your brain. Stick that in there. Touch your brain.
But it is a PCR test.
It is a PCR test.
That's the reason it takes time, right?
Well, actually, this one was really fast. I was able to sit here and wait 30 minutes to get the results because they have a lab here at the facility. Otherwise, if I had gone to some other place, they would have had to send it out to a different lab and then brought it back and got me the results then. But it was about $100. But I need the paperwork or else I can't go on my flight. Yeah. All right. I just thought I'd check in with everybody, see how it's going.
It's going. Did you get your lasers working yet? Or is that still a touchy subject? Yeah.
No, it's touchy subject.
Okay. I didn't bring it up. I don't want to know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you get the email?
I'm gonna check my email box again. Okay. It just now came in. It says DME department.
Yeah, ignore that.
And then the attachment says PCR test. Yeah, it's a little odd formatted, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Thank you.
Well.
Oh, now I can talk louder. I just felt a little awkward being inside the pharmacy and whatever this place is. It's called an apothecary.
An apothecary. Okay.
something similar to an urgent care. They have a full-fledged pharmacy, drugs, rapid testing, all that stuff. So, I got about a 3-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive, something like that, to get to the next customer, and nothing to do besides that till tomorrow 9 a.m.
Where are you flying out of?
So I got a customer tomorrow. Get done with them, drive home. It's like a 6-hour drive to get home, and then Saturday morning, I got to be at the airport at 4 a.m. in Cincinnati.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a direct flight to someplace in China at that point?
From Cincinnati to China? No. It goes from Cincinnati to DFW. And I don't think it has to go through LA. I think it goes straight from DFW.
DFW. What's DFW?
Dallas Fort Worth.
Fort
My bad.
Worth.
Dallas Fort Worth.
That makes sense. I should have known that.
So from Dallas Fort Worth to Pudong, Shanghai. I'm not gonna say PVG. You won't know what PVG is. So Pudong, Shanghai, and then I'll be there almost right at 2 weeks. But I'm gonna be leaving Shanghai and going to like Beijing, Shenzhen, Jinan.
All the hot
And I
spots.
got they are hotspots. They are. Yeah. I'm not going to Wuhan.
Electronic
I'm not going to
hotspots.
Okay.
Wuhan is the disease hotspot, I think.
Is not the hotspot you want to be at.
No.
So do you have to be retested at each of these locations?
I'm not sure. I've put off going back to China for years. I mean, I don't think I've been there in 4 years. And there was one point where if you arrived in China, it didn't matter. You were going straight to a hotel, and you were going to be in that hotel for 2 weeks or more, and you had to be tested every day. Then it got to a point where it's like, okay, you would only have to be in a hotel for 2 days, and then if you passed a rapid test, then you could leave, but you had to be tested at a specific facility every 7 days. And it got easier and easier, and now it's just you have to have a negative PCR test, COVID-19 test, in order to go to China. You're not allowed to get on the airplane unless you have that. Obviously, you have to have a visa, you have to have your passport, all that fun stuff. But other countries, you don't even have to have a COVID test. But with China, you have to have a COVID test within 48 hours of your flight, which is crazy because there are only a few places in each city that you can get a test and get the results back that fast. So there's plenty of places like CVS Pharmacy and Walgreens. You can go get a COVID test within half an hour, but basically it's a standard test done by the pharmacist or an assistant. That way you don't stick something up your nose or do it the wrong way. But it's not a PCR test. It's not a polyamide test. So they just test for some different antigens. The PCR test is a lot more involved. It has better drug testing, and it's less likely to come back with a false negative. I think it might be more capable to come back with a false positive though. But definitely not a false negative. But other countries, they want, like, I think I can't remember if it was Canada or what other countries. They needed a COVID test, but it didn't have to be a PCR test. So, but I've in my little folder, I've got like all the different companies that I want to go visit, and I had emailed each one of those companies and I asked them, do you want me to come visit your factory? Do you want me to come visit your offices? And while I'm there, is there going to be somebody to talk to? And would you write me a letter of invitation? Just so that the customs agents know that, hey, I'm being invited to China, not just showing up. And so I have like 14 letters of invitation from like all these different factories. It's kind of funny.
Are you going to go see any of the M5 stuff? They're in
So
Shenzhen.
what?
M5 stack.
I am going to Shenzhen. I am gonna see two companies in Shenzhen, and one of those has offered to take me to the Electronic Super Center. Or yeah. So yeah.
Ray's gonna be broke by the time he gets back.
Oh, you guys have no idea. I've spent a lot of money in the past year and a half, and my money is low, very low. I have to be very careful about what I spend now.
You know all the little microcontrollers I like.
Oh yeah,
that's M5 stack, and they're in Shenzhen. They probably would
I
give
bet
you
there's
an
a
invite.
crap ton of it there.
There is. That's one place I'd love to see how they actually do stuff, because I've seen pictures of inside their plant and stuff, and it looks like just a bunch of guys doing what we do, just sitting at desks playing with robots and trying new stuff out. And if it works, they build a product, and if it doesn't work, they put it aside onto a shelf and try something else.
That sounds like their research labs. My guess is they won't let you in there.
Yeah.
I've been in Parallax in their manufacturing facility. I've been to a few different manufacturing, where they were doing circuit board manufacturing production. Hey, I got one for you. You guys probably didn't even know this. I didn't know this. There is a building down on Hook Drive where I got most of my buildings at, and they receive circuit boards and populate the circuit boards, and they do all the soldering and everything. And they have automatic chip stuffing machines, chip soldering machines. It's actually really neat, and it's right there on Hook Drive.
Where?
I did. It's down next to my warehouse in Middletown. Okay. I didn't know who all the companies were down on Hook Drive, and I thought, I just want to go visit, go talk to them, and see what kind of businesses they are. So, I went to one place and they do like making wooden skids. Another place they do hazardous spill cleanup. Another place does sheet metal fabrication. And then there's fasteners and connectors. And then one place is electronics, board stuffing and such. I was like, that's freaking cool. Because I was thinking, I'm gonna go over there and see if they have any like piles of transistors or scrap, the end of a reel of resistors, surface mount stuff. See if they ever get rid of tooling. I mean, that's cool to me. So But I mean,
Yeah,
if you ever
they
think
pro-
about like, yeah, you just think about like getting a blank circuit board and they're feeding it into machines, and they've got it all pre-programmed where it picks up the chip, the photo, the video looks at the chip, identifies it, orients it to the right direction, and places it on the chip on the glue dot. And then once that's fully populated, it puts it through a solder bath. I mean, that's pretty cool to me. That's really cool.
Through
So
holes.
this is mostly surface mount.
I'm sure it is. I most devices out there are not through hole anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to automate everything they can.
Yeah, they probably saw you coming and saying, "Oh no, it's Ray. He's going to want electronics."
I haven't been back there. I found the place like, gosh, 2 months ago, three months ago, something like that. 2 months ago. It was right before my laser machines arrived. I was walking around looking at the different companies. I wanted to go visit the sheet metal company.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know what these other places are. I'm gonna go look. And
So they've got a lot of pick and place machines in there, or just some pick and place. And
I have not gone for a tour yet.
the
I just talked
reflow
to somebody out in
ovens.
the lobby.
That's cool. I had no idea that there was a place. I thought I knew of a place in Cleveland that did it. But
I think you'd be surprised at how many small manufacturers actually have at least one or two pick and place machines.
Yeah, I know. I thought there was one in Columbus, but I knew there was a big one that did a lot in Cleveland. That they populate a lot of the boards that you find. So having one close, that's kind of neat.
Probably charge you a premium for being that close.
Probably charge you a premium for doing a one-off board. Oh, look, he's not in his car anymore.
I'm back at my office. Really, I am.
He flew really fast.
You see all this stuff behind me, right?
Yeah.
It's my office.
Yeah. Sure.
It's more artwork.
Just like our ping pong robot.
So you ready to see this thing that I messed with? So I tried what Vicente suggested last week, and it wasn't right. It didn't work. I could not get anything to work without that amp. But I had a thought this morning when I woke up, and I went, oh yeah, I bet I'm trying to read a digital signal off of an analog pen. So I ordered a bunch of analog microphones that actually have the same amplifier built into them that I'm using, but they actually have an analog out on. So those will be here, and I'll change and try again. But here is what I actually ended up coming up with. And you probably won't be able to hear it because it's in my earphone.
Mode is ready. Control side is computer.
So next.
We hear it.
This is a demo of some of the
Can you
pop-up
hear it?
sentences. My call sign
Yes.
is
Yeah, we can hear.
You can say female, male, read next, random, again, previous, held. The boy was there when the sun rose. A rod is used to catch pink salmon. The source of the huge river is the clear spring. Kick the ball straight and follow through. Help the woman get back to her feet. A pot of tea helps to pass the evening. Smoky fires lack flame and heat. The soft cushion broke the man's fall. The salt breeze came across from the sea. The girl at the booth sold 50 bonds.
Computer. Female.
Female voice said.
Computer. Next.
Exit.
The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the crest. The swan dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. 2 blue fish swam in the tank. Her purse was full of useless trash. The cold reared and threw the tall rider. It snowed, rained, and hailed the same morning. Read verse out loud for pleasure.
Computer. Male.
Female voice said.
Computer.
Exit.
Computer. Male.
Male voice said.
Computer.
Computer.
Female.
Next. It's a video,
Hold the
Ray.
rope to your left shoulder. Take the winding path
Computer.
to reach the lake.
Female.
Note closely the size of
You're
the
over here
sand.
screwing my GPS.
Wipe the grease off his dirty face. Mend the coat before you go out. The wrist was badly strained and hurt.
Anyway. Okay, I'm sorry I'm messing with your GPS, computer.
¿Qué pasó?
I don't know why it's responding to you. I was like, what the heck? Stop it. Exit. Exit.
That was I changed the Movi program from the Battleship game to reading the Harvard words. And if you don't know what those are, they're a set of like 50 or 60 different words, sentences that are used to test wireless and international telephone and telegraph machines and stuff. And I figured that would be good for a voice synthesizer since it has certain inflections and phrases that, you know, would make it a waveform different. But like I said, this morning I woke up and went, I bet I'm reading a digital signal with an analog thing and it's just not doing the sine wave right. So I ordered some little microphone boards and I'm going to pull the microphone off and run the input through the microphone input and use the analog out off of them and see if I can't get it to work better. So that was my adventure for this past week. I don't know if it was a good adventure, but that was my adventure.
How many boards do you have in your project? You have too much models.
Voice command.
Say a command.
If you count the camera and the animated eyes, there's like 6 different microcontrollers in there.
Oh my God.
If you don't count those,
You only need one.
It's yeah.
God.
I wanted one. it actually, it hot glued these boards on. This board's still not glued yet. The animated eyes, the camera, and the servo controller are all actually independent. They're not talking to anything. So this board's doing most of the work. Well, the Movi's doing all the talking. This board's doing most of the work for displaying.
It's all in stealth mode,
It's all in stealth mode.
which means we can't see it because of your background.
No.
This is just an ESP32 board that you can't see because of whatever. And another M5 stack board and M5 stack battery pack. And originally I had an M5 stack fire for the output to the TV, but that changed when I couldn't get the fire to actually work the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to probably get rid of the voltage divider, definitely get rid of the amplifier board when these new microphone boards come in that actually have analog out on them. Did you notice I flipped it upside down, just like you suggested? So it's actually upside down now. And I still need to work on why the camera wants to. It's a little jittery, and if it sees more than one person, it's real flaky. But I think I could program I think I could train one face to it and then just have it look for that one face. And follow that one face around. That's about it. It's about all I did. I messed with my Panasonic tablet and a little bit on that project.
What is inside the RCA module? Is a modulator or resistors or what it is?
Yeah, let's open one up.
Just a hardware adapter, or it has electronics inside?
There is I think there's a resistor in there. Because it does not need power. It does not need the 5 volts or the ground. So
Used two cables or
nope, just
two wires.
It's using pin 26 on from the ESP32, and then it has a ground. Yeah.
Okay.
I have the ground connected because I figured it needed the ground.
It's a divider or something.
That looks like.
But they say that it has internal dual channel switching. What's that? what did they switch for?
Okay, so it works off of the DAC of the
Okay,
ESP32, either pin 25 or pin 26.
okay,
So the switch will change it to use either pin 25 or pin 26.
okay.
I don't really know why they did it like that, but that's what that's for. They're set up right now to use pin 26. Now the weird thing is in software you can also switch it to use one or the other. So like I said, I have no idea why they actually did that.
Yeah.
Because if you could do that in software, why would
Yeah.
you need a physical switch?
I don't know.
But
Again,
it looks like
it's a module, but it's nothing, just an adapter.
it looks like there's
Are there resistors?
it looks like there's 2 resistors and maybe a capacitor.
A divider, okay.
Maybe that's a capacitor. That might be another resistor. I can't read it. Can't read what it says. There's nothing to it. It's like it's one of the simplest circuits I've seen.
Yeah. Composite video. And this is is connected to the ESP32 that has the microphone as input, audio input, and how you draw in the TV using a TV library or something.
Yes, they have their own library,
Okay.
but there's nothing special about it. It works with any ESP32 device.
Okay.
That's got to be a resistor. It says 0 ohms.
It's a jumper or something.
Yeah. So there's 2 more resistors. So it's basically 3 resistors.
Yeah.
But I couldn't read that one. That one was hard to read.
75 ohms and
Looks 400 4R7.
4.7.
And that one says 0.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, in reality, you don't really need to pay them $4 for this, because you could make this yourself. I cannot get it back together. Is that going back together? Okay.
What's the name of the library of the ESP32?
Hang on. It's part of the M5 stack GFX library. It's included in their GFX library.
is color or
Yes, yes, it will do colors. Of course, our TV is black and white, so
yeah.
um let's see if I can find the library.
It's in the Arduino webpage. ESP 8-bit color composite video library.
That should work as long as it's using pin 25 or pin 26. I would imagine that.
You can use the GFX library from Adafruit to create all kind of stuff in the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. So their GFX library, I am almost positive it is a port of the Adafruit's library, just modified slightly for their stuff. But you can do all kinds of stuff with it. So
Engine room, yes, sir. That radiation must be in the overdrive pile. No, sir. It isn't here, sir. Are you, sir? Yes, sir. All right, keep checking.
can you hear that?
Yeah.
What do you have to do? Boston, get a Geiger counter.
So you got that one. Let's see. Oh. Come on. I'm sure I showed some of these to you guys before.
No, Sam. I'm just a psychologist.
That was done with the microphone input
Doing the thing that you did.
and the
Help me by answering.
M5 Fire.
That's not going to do me any good. No, but you could at least help other people from. Bed to hers.
And I kept refining it and whatever, kept making it get better and better, but the more better I made it get, it was actually the uncanny eyes that I couldn't quite get to work right. I couldn't get them to follow me. So if I could have gotten them to follow me, it would have been a simple, here's a camera, here's the M5 stack, done. But I couldn't get them to follow me. So they didn't work. They don't work the way I thought they worked. But there are almost anything that you can display on the screen. You just replace the screen, you know, the M5 SAC, M5 LCD with GFX, and it'll shove it out to the TV. And you probably would have to move its location because the TV is so much smaller than most of the screens. The resolution of the TV is wrong. It's different.
You are using the Atari resolution?
Do I?
The Atari 400 by 800 pixels resolution? In the library, or
it's what was it? It's 200 and something by 160.
Okay.
It's pretty small. It's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So other than moving your screen location around so that it would actually display right, it's simple as, you know, you just change it to GFX instead of LCD and everybody's happy. Or most people are happy. Some people are happy. Ray's not happy. But this one costs $3. And as we saw, there's nothing to it. So there's probably, I mean, there's definitely not even $3 worth of components in there. There might be $1 worth of plastic, maybe. The one for the fire uses the exact same library, but it actually has a lot of electronics in it. There's actually more stuff going on with it. And it's $12. There's actually stuff going on with it, though. You've got headphone jacks, and I think there's a little amplifier there, and you can do left and right channels off of it. So it's 2-channel audio, and it can do, it has the capability of doing video and audio at the same time. So there's definitely something going on a little bit more profound, but it uses the exact same library. It uses the M5 stack. There's stuff going on in there. But the put a link to the maybe I put a link to it. Why didn't that work? Okay. There, I put a link to the library. They show that you were saying color. There's some color changes.
RCA.
Yep. And it's kind of
I need to play with that.
that's just a single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get close.
Oh, the 0 ohm is just a ground.
Yeah. 75 to ground.
Yeah.
4.7.
4.7. There's nothing to it. I mean,
yeah.
You know, so I gave M5 stack $6 for 2 of these, and I would happily do it again. What they don't make real clear is some of their color connectors. You know, they color code their Grove connectors to supposedly make it easy, but what they don't make clear sometimes is like this one will only work connected to another black Grove connector, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because the black Grove connectors are on the full size M5 stacks. So this won't work with this because it's got a white Grove connector. Pin 25 or pin 26 doesn't come out here. Pin 32 or something comes out here. So these two things won't work together, even though they could.
That's the same color.
Yeah. So that's
They make the rules and they break the rules. So
yeah.
everything's at home.
And well, the thing is this port is an I2C port according to them, but it could be anything. I could set it to be a serial port or or anything.
You have the ESP32 pins and you can assign anything to them.
Yeah. Except for the DAC channels, which have to go out to pin 25 and 20 or 26. And since their library is using pin 25 and pin 26, this won't work with this. Now the interesting thing is pin 26 comes out onto this connector.
Well, but you can use it there.
So I could hook it all up. But why would I want to mess with all that wire? So I may end up, let's see, I don't have access to pin 34 on this. Pin 34 is the only one that I could even get close to actually reading the signal off of the microphone. And I'm not real sure why. I mean, I should have been able to read it off of like pin 0 or one of the other pins, but it just didn't want to work. So
use the Arduino analog interface, you know, to see the values in your computer and change stuff until you see the way you want.
Yep.
The offset, the gain, I don't know, something is weird.
So actually that's more or less how I kept honing it in when I kept getting, you know, because my originals were just kind of spiky, and I opened up the serial terminal, not the serial terminal, the whatever the serial plotter, and just kept messing with it until I got something that was close to a sine wave. So you can see this is the RCA from them.
Yeah,
you can actually see there's a chip in there, and there's some big beefy capacitors in there. So there's something more going on with this than just a simple resistor network. And for the most part, I really like M5 stack stuff. But like everything else in the world, it's quirky. There's some quirks about it. A PM 2.5 module, air quality checks.
Do you know what parameters it actually measures?
No,
Is it particle count? Is it CO2?
it is not CO2. It is particles.
It is particle.
It is particle. But I don't know. I don't remember which ones. There's it gives like 4 different readings off of it or something. And when I tried it with their example sketch, it worked, but it just gave me numbers. It gave me raw numbers, and I didn't really understand what the numbers were trying to tell me. So I kind of turned it off and said, I will figure this out later when I've got more time to play. And I just never went back to play with it. You know how time is, right?
Time.
Time. Run out of time. But so M5 Stack and Seed Studio both use Grove connectors. So a lot of stuff that Seed Studio has
Yes, I
will
saw.
work. Except M5 Stack has 5 volts on their Grove connector instead of 3.3 volts on their Grove connector. And you've got to watch it because a lot of the Seed Studio stuff is not 5 volt tolerant. So, but M5 Stack made a little unit that will drop the voltage so that you can use other devices, or it will raise the voltage up, because there's a few like Seed Studio's LCD, it needs 5 volts, and it needs more 5 volts than what these guys can provide. So you got to inject another 5 volts into it. So M5 Stack came up with something that we should be able to use Seed Studio Grove devices with their devices, and most of them work without any problem, which is another. Grove is a nice connector. I mean, it's, M5 took the Grove standard and changed it a bit so that, there's like the blue is serial, and the whites are I2C, and blacks can be changed to whatever you need them to be. But really, any of them can be changed to whatever you need them to be. So overall, I like M5 Stack stuff. Of course, everybody knows that, though.
Yeah,
I
I
got the message.
I'm suspecting that.
Yeah. Well, they make it easy to do stuff.
Yeah, it's the electronics Lego version,
Yeah. With a few quirks here and there, but yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It's, you want to mash a bunch of stuff together, no problem. As long as it all talks the same way, as long as you're mashing a bunch of stuff that talks the same way, it doesn't care. Like, Like
This is
if I want to,
standard. Huh?
yep, if I want to hook two of them up, but they've both got to talk the same.
I2C channel.
Yep.
I bought one of those, but the microphones they use don't have the selector for left and right, so I couldn't use them.
Oh,
The,
right.
the selection pin is under the chip, and it's surface mount. It's impossible to reach. So
That's another hub, but I can connect three things to it now. So you got the input and you got three different things.
Yeah.
This is just forget what this one. Oh, this one is 8 I2C devices, but these devices could all have the same I2C address. You can just switch to different ports real fast across this.
You need to send an additional command or something.
Uh-huh. Yep. So this one, I think this one will do any, and you can actually set your ports. Maybe it's this one. One of these you can set the ports to be anything and just switch them. So, you know, if you needed a serial device on one port and you needed I2C on another, you could just set them up to do that. Which I thought was that's an interesting solution. There's a little App Mega 328 inside of that that's actually handling the communication.
Okay. What's the name of this?
This is a PB hub.
PB hub.
And the other one is a PA hub. And one of them is strictly I2C, and one of them will let you do other stuff. And here's the powered hub. So if I need to add extra power, I could plug another USB port in. The drawback is it's only got 2 additional ports to it, but this one, I've never used this. I got this in a big box of stuff. This one is just a breakout. It's just a breakout from the Grove connector to screw terminals.
Okay.
So I don't really know why I need that, but there it is.
Just in case.
Just in case. It was in a big M5 stack may have actually given me that. Every now and then.
That's quite a collection you've got.
Yeah, well, every now and then when you order something from M5 Stack, they throw some extra stuff in the box for you.
Oh.
Because they're nice like that.
Okay.
It's usually, let's see, the last thing I got free from them was tape that said M5 Stack on it. But usually I get
what's that?
Smart cards, or they've all got little pictures on them. And And let's see. Those aren't M5 stacks. And these two are hotel keys. These are all M5 stack, and they were all freebies. So I don't order from them a lot or anything. I actually was kind of surprised. I ordered, I've got that RFID reader, and they did send me a smart card to use the RFID with. Every other order I had gotten, they had sent me a free smart card, but when I actually ordered the RFID tag reader, they didn't send me any smart cards. Come on, guys.
Crazy.
Got little king guy and little module guy and a stick guy and a different module guy. Oh, and we got the core. Maybe these are like trading cards. Which one do you have? Let's trade them around.
They are releasing stuff every month or what? They have new stuff every month, every 2 months. I don't know.
They were doing it like once a week, but they have slowed down, and their next big drop should be in the next few days, because they have been promising new S3 microcontrollers for the past 2 months, and they said that it's going to happen in September. So we will see. But if you go to their store, to the shop.m5stack.com, you will see all the new stuff that they've got. There will be a thing that says new arrivals. I'll put a link for all their new stuff. And they haven't really had much new stuff past couple weeks, so maybe they are waiting for this big drop. I know they're getting ready. They got to be getting ready to release something new, because they've clearanced out these guys. These guys are end of life, and the newer model of these is end of life, and so I know they're getting ready for something new. I just don't know when. It's after 7, isn't it?
It is in this.
Yeah.
Oh, Patty just walked in here, but she didn't say anything.
What's going on?
Oh, she didn't bring dinner?
No, she just walked in here.
Is there a big club in her hand?
All she said is it's hot in here, and I agree.
I'll be checking the stuff of these people.
So
it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Well,
So we are at the library next week.
Okay.
I will see everybody next week.
We have
Hopefully.
Skyline chilling. Also.
Hey, maybe.
Sounds
we
good.
could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
I will see everybody next week.
See you next week.
Good
Take care.
night.
Bye bye.
Good night.